And we are back with Gelgelim, a Yiddish fantasy gone rogue. Welcome to Neon Lights Roleplay. Danielle, take it away.
Howdy, hello, Chevra, and welcome back. I hope that you are excited because things are about to get pretty spicy today, I do think. Let's go around and do the introductions and the pronouns and the characters and the character pronouns, and then we'll get started, yeah? TJ.
Hi, I'm TJ. I go by he, him pronouns. I also play Alexis, who goes by he, him pronoun. Sarah?
Yeah, hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. And as per usual tonight, I am playing Eleonora, and the two of us use she, they pronouns.
Hey,
I am...
Oh, I'm certain if you're going. I'm sorry. I thought we went around players and then went to you.
Well, too bad. I'm jumping in the order here. You're welcome. Hi, I'm Danielle, she, they. I am the facilitator of this game and the setting creator for Gelgelim. Great, now you can take your turn.
Hi, I'm Turk or Turk accented. Sometimes, probably not. Anyway, I am playing Shawl. We both use he, him pronouns. Super excited to be here. Janie.
Hi. I am Jamie, and I play Layla. She, they pronouns. I'm sorry, I forget who I am sometimes.
Who doesn't?
I'm Max. I use he, they pronouns, and I play Asher, who uses they, she, or he pronouns.
Fabulous. So, as I mentioned, it's gonna be a little bit spicy. Let's get into it. When last we met, let me bring up my handy dandy session recap. When last we met, Asher arrived in Solspils after doing a bunch of other very important life-saving things that whatever. You tried very hard to talk Father Tomas out of going forward on the baptism plan. Father Tomas wasn't having any of it. You did a little splitting up. Alexis, Layla, and Eleonora headed back to Kirkholm to do a little bit more research into the history of the area, trying to figure out if this baptism thing happens, if the Livonian Order are able to baptize the remains of these anti-Christian fighters from hundreds of years ago, how are the ghosts of those anti-Christian fighters going to react to that? Trying to start to get a sense of what is there to understand the answer to that question. While you were off doing that, Asher and Saul managed to do a little herb foraging and then performed a divinatory ritual to find the most accessible set of bones. You waited until dark, managed to fast talk your way out of the guards who were not super keen on leaving you alone, and then entered into the castle to begin their excavation as the ghosts rose out of the water and began to make their way toward the castle. So, Saul has made a number of charms trying to ward off spirits and foul and nasty things, and has sort of strung them through various strategic entryways in the castle, hoping to sort of preserve a safe passage of escape, while Asher has followed his divination and found the particular spots. Now, you know that these bones are 2 to 3 meters deep. I did a bunch of math and I did a bunch of research. And with the pickaxes and shovels available to you, given the state of the soil type and that it is rather clay-like, it's going to take you 64 man-hours to do that excavation. Because you got to get all the way down, and in order to get down with shovels and pickaxes, you have to make it wide as well. Because these are not, these aren't post-hole diggers, lamentably. It's 8 in the evening, if the sun has gone down. You know that the ghosts are encroaching. What do you want to do?
this dirt is, and they're like digging their shovel in, you can see with strength, but because of the texture of it, just not getting as much as you would in a scoop with soil is shit. We gotta figure something out.
I don't suppose you could just, I don't know, paint a do not enter on the door and the ghost would listen?
And maybe if we ask like really nicely, that usually works for me, but then again, I'm not usually talking to ghosts.
And the last one who did ended up in a Livonian Order prison. Or the closest they could manage at the time.
Well, you got any other bright ideas?
Get away back to shore, to safety, and come at this tomorrow with a full group and a full belly.
That's not an awful idea, but we do need to
Oh.
keep them out of here.
The ghosts or the Livonian Order?
The latter, the Livonian.
Do they have any reason to think this room's important?
You've been here longer than me. It doesn't look like there's much in here, but
Once
don't
we
know.
start digging, they'll probably start asking questions. We can try and get a bit of a head start, and we can see how much time we can buy before the ghosts get real inquisitive, but we're not gonna get this done in one night.
so the ghosts are like a real problem, huh?
Oh, we've just been hanging around for our health. We like the cool river breeze, and it's been
Well,
very
I
soothing.
thought that you were hanging around to, help this process with these graves, not necessarily because I don't know. Some of those dudes are a little wacky when you try to talk to them about the ghosts. So I thought maybe it was bull. But whatever. Okay. So we get out of here. I mean, there wasn't anything else in here really, so hopefully they just won't come down here. But if we get at it bright and early, maybe we can just get in with everybody else and kind of have someone
Disappear?
walk in the door.
Distracting or otherwise instructing them elsewhere?
Tomorrow problem. Yeah.
Like tomorrow problems.
Okay.
Just for a more well-rested me. And I did have one more Znaki that I think at this point, because I am realizing Saul probably wouldn't have brought his little bundle he brought on this journey. He's probably just tying to the end of his walking stick.
Sensible. Great place for it.
Mm.
So are you two gonna try to escape out of the castle and back to town?
That sounds like the plan. I would like to, just looking down as we exit, I want to make sure, because the floor is clay-like, are we leaving like tracks or like boot prints of any kind?
Great question. So because this is a castle that has been well traveled by hundreds of people daily, no. The ground is, unless you are digging and moving earth, there's no tracks of any kind because the ground has been packed down too hard. That said, while you do have this trail of charms sort of warding off some of those entryways, there are ghosts, and those ghosts can and do walk through walls. Asher, you have the Curitio power, and one of the uses of the Curitio power is to sense the undead.
Yeah, I would.
So I was going to ask if you wanted. So I've got sort of two options here. Is you can use that power to sense the undead, and then you'll be able to sneak out, no problem, because you'll know when the ghosts are close enough to potentially see you. If you wanted to hold on to that power for later, you can just try to sneak your way out the old-fashioned and non-magical way, and then there would just be a chance of discovery.
I get 3 uses of the power, correct?
Yes, you do.
So yeah, no time like the present in that case.
Sick.
You should use it, yeah.
Fabulous. Cool. Mark that off. What does it look like when you were sensing the undead?
I think, because Asher usually needs to wear, reading glasses, they just like kind of take them off, and you see their eyes just turn white like a sclera kind of lens. And they hold their hands up and can kind of like almost echolocate the ghosts, just kind of like sense where they are with that like sixth spiritual sense.
Fuck yeah. All right, with the Scalera to Asher leading the way, the two of you are able to sort of safely make it through the series of entryways to get out of the castle proper, make your way back into town. Now, you are two people outside town outside a town in which everyone has barricaded themselves inside. Your family is sleeping in the giant house with the hundreds of soldiers who are jam-packed in like sardines. Where are you going to spend the night? And how do you want to get in there?
They're in the bar, is there?
No. The town is too small to have a proper barn. Like the biggest dwelling is the one where your family and the hundreds of soldiers are jam-packed inside.
Not a barn, a bar like for drinking.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay, cool.
Apologies.
It's probably not popular enough.
Only 'cause I thought
is there
that
like a
might be
Best
open.
Western maybe, or
Great question. Let me
Homewood
look up the
Suites.
incorporation date for Best Western.
I don't think
United
so. I
States-
think it's a
That's a
few
United
more
States
years.
only chain. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Ah, damn. All right.
Does anyone have a storm cellar door? Any storm cellar doors that we pass? Walking by?
You know, that's a really good question. Based on the climate, cellars do make more sense than attics. Yeah, why not? Absolutely. So you're able, yeah. There you find a house that has a cellar with exposed entrance. It is nominally locked, and locked as in if you turn the handle, it doesn't directly open. You have to like jiggle the other door, and then it'll open up.
Okay, I can live with that.
You'll live with it. That's the important thing.
You want to sleep outside with the ghosts?
No, we're going to live by staying in the cellar, but we should do something nice for the others beyond moving their town with ghosts if we're going to take hospitality from them.
I am happy to gather something for them, but right now, until the morning, they should be left none the wiser.
Fair. And I'm not sure of the situation on the other side, but Saul would absolutely, if there is a way to bar the door with his walking stick that has Znaki on it, just slide it in between and have it there.
The doors open outward.
Right. Is there like a pair of handles he could slot it in between to prevent it from being opened upward? It's fine if not.
Not really. No. Like these are not like.
If they're so afraid of
handle on the
going
other
out,
side, yeah. All
if
right,
they're
cool.
so afraid of going outside, they're not gonna come out here for something, unless it's an emergency.
Yeah,
I would think.
I think yeah. I think that's a very fair.
And if it's a ghost, like the bar and the door isn't gonna stop it anyway.
Well, yeah, but the the Znaki might.
Fair enough.
But it's totally fine. I was just. Otherwise, he'll just enter and find a nice bit of ground and dirt to lay on.
Yeah, absolutely. It is not hard to do that due to the fact that it is March. Most of like the winter stores have been exhausted, so there's plenty of space for you to lay your head. Asher, you smell something a little bit funny. There's mold in here. It's a cellar in a town next to a river. Of course, there's mold in here, but the smell of the mold reminds you of many of the patients that you were treating directly before you came to this town to help your family out.
And what ailment exactly, if that's relevant, was it a particular thing that I was treating in multiple patients, or just that like it kind of smells like death?
So it doesn't quite smell like death.
like hospital smell.
Um,
Medieval hospital smell.
See if I can get a smell of this. Lamentably, I am not getting a smell of the description. But in terms of the symptoms that you were treating, let me look this up. So people were having seizures and spasms and diarrhea, some sort of limited psychosis.
Okay. So I think Asher is just like trying to like find a place and settle down, but the smell keeps like throwing them off. And I will look over to see if Shawl is still awake or not.
Shawl?
Yeah, but I just tried to doze off.
Someone's sick.
Looks around. Well, I'm not feeling sick, so kind of narrows it down.
Great, it's not me, it's not you. I would assume it's someone who lives here, but symptoms aren't pretty. I might be able to help them, actually. If I could speak with them. I guess that's a tomorrow problem also. We got a few tomorrow problems.
Probably best not to, knock on the upstairs neighbors.
Yeah, that wasn't my plan. I guess I'm just gonna take another laugh and make sure there isn't like a kid like hiding out down here or something before I crash.
You find no children or other like mammals here.
Awesome.
If you find anything, make sure to give a really big scream or something.
Uh-huh. Good night.
Good night.
All right. The night passes. None of you are murdered by ghosts. How good. How good. So we are gonna pop in to the following morning. It is now the 6th of March, 1630, a lovely gray and overcast Wednesday. My favorite type of weather. Let's check in with the Kirchholm people. So the three of you have spent the night in the sort of barn attachment of the family who was very kind enough to leave you food that went cold before you went to sleep. It is now the morning. You have sort of sifted through the documents as best you can. I believe when last we met, previous day, you had decided to sort of schlep everything across the river, take advantage of Jan and anybody else who could read that older style of Latin to get through all of the documentation a little bit faster.
Yep. How far did we get into that?
So, so for my notes here, Layla spent the rest of the day skimming over all the documents and determined that if she spent a full day doing the research, she'd get a good sense of all of the things that are here. And then a full day's research after that would be able to sort of would get her all of the information in these archives relating to how these anti-Christian fighters might react to being baptized. That central research question. So 2 days of work by Layla working alone.
And you said we were able to get people to help us?
So 2 other people in your family who could read Latin and potentially help you out. You've got Jan, who's locked in the cellar, and then we have Asher, who also would know Latin due to his medical training.
So we have to break Jan out of the cellar. And...
Well, you could probably just bring the documents into the cell or into the basement with Jan. But you also could break Jan out as well. I'm not going to tell you not to do things that are going to result in violence, but you do what you want.
I could let everybody out of the cellar.
Well, there's only one person in the basement that's he's not able to leave, and it's your brother.
That's rude.
Yeah. Wow. Catholics, right?
I say we get as much help.
Oh my god.
Catholics in the audience. This is just me being saucy. I'm not bigoted towards Catholics. Promise. Only Episcopalians.
Well, I'm not at all as a fake Catholic.
So,
I'd say we get as much help as we can.
And I would honestly like to check in with Asher and Shawl as well. We didn't see them last night.
Yeah. It's really gross out today. I don't want to do this today, but I guess we don't have time.
right. So you've got like a bunch of armfuls of vellum. You've got a fairly thick old record book. You've got the one boat that is like from the other way, or from the other bank that you can take back. There are 3 of you in it. None of you know how to row or sail particularly well.
Nope.
So I'm going to need one of you to offer up sacrifice and give me a roll just to see if you manage to make it all the way across, or if you'd do a little dip in the water first.
I don't know how to do that.
So
Sorry. I don't know what
I'm doing a D20 and a D6, right?
it's a D20 and a D6, and then if you got anything else that you think might help, I know that the Rogue rulebook has a list of sort of opportunities when you get some additional dice.
So I got a 19.
Sick. Very good. Y'all consistently have rolled very well over the course of this whole game. I'm quite impressed. So you adroitly are able to.
Loaded dice.
Yes. That makes sense. Okay.
TJ.
You're able to successfully row your way across the river without any incidents. All of your papers, your vellum, and your books are intact. Not a drop of water on them at all.
That rowing was so hard. My arms are tired from the rowing that I did.
We're people of the land, not of the sea.
Indeed.
Layla didn't do any rowing, just so you all know.
I think we all assumed.
People of the land.
So, Asher, Saul, you wake up. You are very tired and very stiff and very sore, but you are alive, not murdered by ghosts.
I'll take that win.
I think we should prioritize finding the others, see if they've gotten back yet.
We can go check in the Livonian Order house, or
We can, do a little trot past, see what's going on.
trot.
A trot, yeah.
Oh, thank you for being so considerate of my old bones. And I think there's like every sound of bones stretching as he tries to arch his back and just like the kind of thing where it's kind of sleep where he just like extends his arm and every ligament seems to pop into place. Yeah. It's more like a skeleton moving at this point than a person.
Please tell me he makes the old man noises.
And like starts to speak a few times to like maybe advise him and then stops every time.
I remember. Oh.
Very good. So, the 6 of you, 5 of you, I am good at math. 5 of you reunite at the essentially the headquarters of the Livonian Order in the town. They've got the stew pot going. They've got their porridge that they are doling out to everybody in their bowls, and it tastes as bad as it has the past several days that you've been in this town. But you see each other. You're able to meet up, get some food.
Just like eating his stew and looking up at the rain. We needed this.
This is terrible.
It's water.
Can you fix my stew so it tastes better?
Yes,
Not without a
here.
kitchen.
lean in, and then he goes and pinches your nose. Now try it.
That's so
Legit.
good.
It's a hack.
No, that's pretty good. This is a
good.
that's pretty good.
Okay, marginally better. Can you fix the weather?
I tried.
You're too old to make it work.
Clearly. Anyway.
I think I have a little bit of like a dried cherry in my pack. Not enough to like do, spells with, but like left over from another mission, and I kind of like tear a little bit up and I sprinkle it in Layla's thing. See if that helps.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You guys
Great.
find anything yesterday?
Yeah, I'm gonna need some help because it's gonna take me too long to figure all of this out. It'll take me like a day of research and another day of work to figure this out. So I need someone else to help me.
Yeah, what needs to be figured out? Is it like a riddle or something?
Can you read Latin?
Oh yeah. It made me learn that shit. Let me see.
It's just dense and you know how
Boring?
these people, yeah, and they had to add all kinds of extra stuff that doesn't need to be in there. Fancy letters. Too much time on their hands, and she just like hands you a whole big stack of vellum.
Prize for translating Cicero.
Yeah, his handwriting is awful. You're right.
Where's the verb, Cicero?
I mean, they took a whole page to put one word. You see all of this extra stuff?
I just don't think they put any spaces in there.
Does this book have like a table of contents or anything?
No.
Cool.
No.
An
Okay.
index, perhaps.
Tables
Alright.
of contents and indices are modern
It didn't hurt anyone to ask.
conveniences. It did not. You are correct. It did not hurt at all to ask. No, the pages are also not numbered.
They were too busy making their letters look fancy to give us a table of contents.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I just had a good idea. So, we found something, right? Someone, something. We found, and they'll talk in like a hushed tone, like the closest burial site to where we were. There's one in storeroom in one of the castle. Problem is, it is really hard earth, and there's no way that we could dig it up by ourselves. We needed to sleep, all that stuff. So we went out for the night. I don't think they're going to be looking in there, and so we figured that we'd go back and there'd be a distraction. And I think a giant book of Latin and looking for someone to help us read from it might be a great distraction, especially if I can discern what parts of this actually aren't helpful, so I can ask them to help me with that instead. That way they won't get any ideas either.
I like it. And then the rest of us can go and do the digging and possibly get down there.
Yeah, soldiers like it when you feed their ego.
I'm reading. I can't. I don't know how to dig. I forgot how to use a shovel.
That's good. I think the three of us can handle it. And Eleonora looks at Alexis and Shawl.
I'd say I'm shocked, but it's too early in the morning to be shocked.
People of the land, remember?
People of the land.
People
Layla,
in
can
the
you
land
play-
at this point.
Can you play lookout okay? Can you kind of mosey around and tell me where guards are amassing and what's going on in the meantime? Then you can go warn them if people seem to be coming.
You just don't want me to read.
Well, you can't read it. Isn't that why you brought it to me?
No, I can read it.
Oh,
I just needed help.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were one of the people that couldn't read it. Nonetheless, I think the two of us discerning something that actually isn't helpful, pretending like we can't read it, and bringing it to them to try to, like, get help and, like, distract, still would be, good. And then we have 2 sets of eyes on.
I mean, I could try to be distracting. Yeah, I'll do it.
Cool.
Just for you.
Oh, just for me. Thank you. Not to beat the Livonian order or anything. It is.
I mean, that's a good side effect.
I appreciate it then.
Come on. We got burning sunlight and candlelight and...
What sunlight?
But I imagine I could finish a thought without having so much backsash thrown at me, my goodness.
Okay.
A lot of moonlight as well.
So we will start with Team Scholar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're looking to enlist some help to like move through these texts a little bit faster. Who are you gonna talk to?
I think Asher's general idea here is to like prey on the typical man's confidence that he can do anything.
So I hear that. My question is like, so most of the soldiers do not know how to read Latin.
Yeah. So I'm looking around for not necessarily someone that is of higher stature, but someone who's close to them, like someone who checks in with a captain of a kind a lot. And that way I can bring that person in, and then they have to bring me up, and it gets 2 people, and then maybe more people will look our way based on that first interaction. Maybe I'm overthinking all of this. That's what I do.
So can you say for me, okay, who are you looking to talk to begin getting help?
I don't know good military words. Someone who looks like awake and alert and actually working.
So let me go through like some people that you and your family have known and interacted with already. So we have the head honcho, Commissar Matthias. And these people are listed in the NPC list as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were looking for an actual name.
So, just because, like, name is, I mean, not having a name is fine, but, like, I also wasn't sure if you were, like, wanting to be specifically avoiding, like, important people.
I think my goal was just to generally like use the asking for help as like a distraction of the people in the town, so that my family could dig more unobstructed.
Great. So getting help is less important than raising a fuss.
Yeah, I think we will be okay with the 2 of us, even if one other person actually does offer to help or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great, but to me, it isn't a priority. But also, right. Janie, you are half of this plan. So what say you as well?
Layla was just going to ask random soldiers for help.
That works too.
Well, absolutely.
Fabulous.
That's perfect.
It's going to be Layla.
Fabulous.
Can you help me carry this? Is it safe to walk here? Just random Layla annoying questions. Well, I'm not to say annoying, but
fair, absolutely fair. So, because most of the soldiers have like nothing better to do, they are more than happy to like pretend to like and like try to like puff themselves up, be like, yeah, I know like 4 words in Latin. I can read that, I'll bet. And yeah. So what's that? Other way. No,
Yum.
right.
Yum.
Oh, is that how it goes? I had no idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey.
Pater.
Hey. William, get over here. I'm pretty sure that's a D, right?
Oh, right.
It is.
I like tap the page and pretend like I really am.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
engaged.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think yeah. Oh, and like when you got the little like the dot next to the D, or the little, or the D O, you get the little O D, and then the O and the bar over the O. That's like dominum or dominus, or like some conjugation of that, because they're writing in shorthand.
Wait, you know conjugations?
Where did you learn all this?
Oh, well, when you remember Livonian order, obviously you have to learn a lot about Latin, which is like the original language of God, and this just comes naturally to us men in the Livonian order. You are wildly successful. We've got like lots of people who are converging, and because you have like so many like scraps and pieces of vellum, it's really easy to be like handing this stuff out like candy, and like people are super pumped about like having something to do and having like people that they can maybe impress.
We
Particularly,
just handed
people...
out the New York Times crossword to the town.
You were yeah.
What's your Wordle score?
Yeah,
Layla's
that's
acting
pretty much
super
exactly what
impressed,
you're doing. So this people are super excited. They're like scribbling in the dirt with their like the tips of their spears as they're trying to like work out like what this particular letter combination is and like how they might parse this stream of letters, because there aren't any spaces in it, and like they're having a great time and they are super distracted. Like Comter Matthias is like sitting at a table trying to like keep records and like talk to some of his lieutenants, and he's just like he's not having a good time. He's not having a good time. So, digging team. You guys, you make your way up to the castle. There is, however, like a small squadron of soldiers who are escorting Father Tomas. And Father Tomas, like, he had been very like subdued and very prayerful and very like internally focused, but he has this almost like manic energy today. And he is staring up at the rain as it like comes down and drops, and he's like futzing with his rosary, and he's got his he's got his own like book of the hours like nestled under sort of like open to a particular page, but it's like tucked away under his arm as he like looks at the rain and fuddles with his rosary and rocks back and forth. And then he'll like pace a couple of steps, and he'll look up in the rain, and he'll look at the earth, and he'll look at the book, and he'll fiddle with his rosary, and he is clearly being moved by something.
I think Eleonora would definitely like tune into that. And just approach him and ask, "Is there something wrong, Father?"
Shh. God is speaking to me. He is telling me where to dig. I just have to be open to his signs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. He's gonna find our spot.
Not if we get there first.
This is our half. Quickly looking over all my powers.
I got a question. Are there
You gotta
any
interrupt his
bushes-
phone call with God.
Alexis,
there any-
go ahead, Alexis.
Are there any bushes like further away from the castle?
Like outside of the castle? Yes, there are absolutely
Yeah.
bushes outside of the castle.
I'm just saying within like eyesight that is like not near the castle but away from.
Like how close are you? Like
Let's say it not like close at all. Like fairly,
so
like,
we've got the castle
far
walls.
enough that you could see it and like walk to it, but not so far that it's.
Oh yeah, plenty of bushes and scrubs and short trees, etc.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use the power from my deception to create an illusion, and make one of the bushes burning bushes. And then, after doing that, I'm gonna walk up to the father, tap him, like, "Is that supposed to be your sign there?"
So, Father Tomas is gonna like break down sobbing and like fall to his knees and like pray. All of the soldiers around you drop their spears and like are down on their knees and they are also praying. And one of them is and then like one of them just there, go get Comtor Matthias, go get Comtor Matthias, and like the other one gets up and like sort of like runs and like bows and runs and like bows and just sprints off to the town. And Father Tomas is gonna like slowly like kneel, bow, crawl over and over the like 15-20 yards to get to this burning bush and like bow and like wait to be spoken to and like receive the message of the Lord.
That's our cue.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, as everybody's bowing and going, I definitely think we just walk in,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we
bowing and back away.
get low and then kind of go, yeah.
Fabulous. All right. So I think as you like leave line of sight of this burning bush, it is gonna like the illusion is gonna peter out. But everyone is like they're gonna need a little bit to collect themselves. So it's me. I'm getting spam called.
Oh.
All right. So you're able to make it inside the castle proper. No trouble at all. You make your way to the storage room that Asher described. You see a couple of shovel marks from like some previous attempts at digging it up. There are pickaxes and shovels leaning against the walls. You can go ahead and start digging.
Do you want me to roll it all? Because I do have proficiency with the pickaxe.
You have a proficiency with the pickaxe. Sick. I don't think rolling is necessary, but I do think like that would absolutely like raise your effective digging speed.
I also have proficiency with a shovel.
Oh, also very useful, very good
People
stuff.
love the land.
Absolutely.
The camera.
Yeah. So, according to my research, like in this type of soil, the average human is usually digging, like can excavate like 1 to 2 cubic feet of soil per hour. I've been saying like 1.5-ish, just sort of split the difference. Y'all are up working at like, we'll say 2.5 cubic feet. So,
What if I used my brawn to smash or destroy an object?
So like I think that like very specific use of the brawn power, not super useful, but like using it to like double your effective output.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now
Throwing all
I
the
gotta do
multipliers on here.
yeah, I gotta do a little bit of math now. So if we're looking at oh great, okay, we're getting into thirds. Huge fan of this. Okay, so that's probably too much of a benefit. We'll say, yeah. So your proficiency is going to give you like the digging speed of like 1.5 times like this standard that I have arbitrarily made. And then Saul, you would be able to dig. So every like hour you work would be the equivalent of 3 hours of work. Whereas Alexis, you'd be every hour you work would be every hour you work is the equivalent of 1.5 hours of work.
Digging up, digging up holes.
Cool. I am also going to say that this is a lot of like very, very intense and exhaustive work. And so if you're going to be working for more than like 4 hours, I'm going to give you the exhausted condition. Which will continue to allow you to work, but if you needed to roll anything, it is going to give you a small penalty for that until you get a full day of just resting.
Okay.
And probably after another like 4 or 6 hours of work past exhausted, you would get an additional like negative status condition that would again make it harder to do things.
Okay. How long do we want to be digging for then?
I mean, what was the final tally for how many man hours we needed for this?
So, the final tally of man hours is like 64 man hours. And you can fit like 2 people excavating at a time, just in the confines of the space and the size of the hole that you're trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have Saul using his power, and then we also have Alexis just being a boss as always, working for 4 hours, that is the equivalent of 18 man hours of digging.
Okay. So, say I were to use an ace to make a form that is very good at digging. What would that mean mathematically?
So it would depend on what you wanted to use with the form. Like if you, so like the goal of this digging, right, is to get some of the remains out of the ground up to daylight so that you can ceremonially like burn it and like free the spirit. That's like the goal. And so if you were to like help with the digging in a small form that's really good at digging, like I would probably just let you work alongside them, even though the space would only normally allow for 2 people digging. If you wanted to just like dig down and grab some bones and get them back up, I'd probably like, I don't know how fast moles dig.
I really couldn't tell you either. That's something I should have researched.
You know, I'm just gonna say probably like moles dig very quickly. They're very good at excavating stuff and moving their bodies underground and like carrying things with them. I'm sure. I'm just gonna say probably you could just accomplish it in 4 hours to get some of the bones out.
Yeah, moles are fast diggers and can tunnel a rate of 15 feet
15
per hour.
feet an hour, but that's a mole hole, to be fair. That's
That is a
straight
mole hole.
down. That's a little tiny hole, and in
Yeah.
eastern United States are usually probably.
But so in 4 hours though, sorry, you're saying something, Janie.
Yeah, no, it said 12 minutes per minute for a shallow tunnel.
Yeah. So I think in a space of like 4 hours, a mole would absolutely be able to like dig down, even through like clay soil, dig down, get some bones, bring them up, dig down, get some bones, bring them up until you had like as much of a skeleton as you're going to get out of the hole.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So I think story-wise, we're going to reach a point like where we're about to start getting exhausted, and like I'm really starting to see that in everybody. And Eleonora just kind of like stops and thinks for a second. It's like, this is gonna sound really strange, but I think I have an idea. I think I just need to focus on it, though. Does nobody question that?
No. Again, we've had somebody have a vision where things are in the earth. We've seen ghosts. Why am I going to question this?
Okay.
You're just very tired.
That too.
That's totally fine. Because yeah, like this is probably one of like the weirder things that's going to be visually seen, out of the things that the family has done so far. So yeah, I think she's going to almost like focus on this, almost like a set of dreams that she's had about flying way up in the sky or swimming beneath the water in lakes and rivers, wherever they've been. All familiar, but still very different, because the perspectives are just so strange. And she's gonna focus on that feeling again. And yeah, y'all are just gonna watch as she morphs into this mole. And is gonna start digging into the storeroom.
You know what I'm envisioning in my head? Is
What?
the Animorphs
Yeah.
page turns.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Fantastic. All right. So you've been digging for like 3 hours at this point. You've got like a very sizable start to the hole, as you're working your way down, and then Eleonora, well, I guess Molianora, like
Yes. Only enough. I need
You're
art.
welcome. I take tips in cash. And Molinara just like starts going and digging down. Now, as like this excavation is the second stage of excavation is happening, and we've got Alexis and we've got Saul, who are resting a little bit, stretching a little bit because they've been working really, really hard. They're a little stiff, trying not to get blisters for tomorrow. They're hearing a lot of hubbub coming from outside the storeroom. Like, no one's bothered or poked their head in at all during this digging period, but you are hearing a bit of a hubbub coming from outside. And we're going to jump back to the research team. So, research team, about an hour after you had everybody, like, going through vellum and showing off how much Latin they know and causing a big stir, one of the soldiers comes running in, breathless. There's a burning bush! And everyone is like, you're drunk. No! It was by the castle. It was on fire and it was raining, but it didn't go out. It was, and everyone's like, yo! God has answered our prayers. He is here. He's going to help us fight these ghosts. We've been praying and hoping that God will give us a sign. Everyone stops what they're doing. The vellum is on the floor, and they, like, Counter Matthias, like, at the lead, and they just go booking off back to the castle. All the soldiers are, like, in the process of leaving. What are you two doing? You're muted, Max.
Well, if it's a miracle, maybe we should go see what's up. Janie, you
you're
are
also
also muted.
Layla's like looking at the vellum and trying to decide about picking up the vellum or running off to see what happened.
We can take it with us. I am more concerned about all of them bumping into the team once they're at the castle.
Well, if it's a burning bush, it would be outside of the castle.
Yeah, but what are they going to do once they get there? Oh, I guess maybe it'll still be burning.
Probably stand around and stare at it and, oh my gosh, a miracle. Let's all pray or something.
You're right, that is probably what they're going to do. And I start picking up vellum.
All right, cool. It takes you about 10 minutes to get all the vellum. A lot of it's been stepped on in the fluffs, but vellum is a very sturdy material, and so, like, it won't take much to get all of the crap off of it. And you've got it all assembled. You can sort of put it off to the side in a location where it will not be further disturbed. And do you head up to the castle?
Yeah, I kind of want to see if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, we might as well go.
Perfect. All right. So you head up to the castle. The bush is no longer burning, but, like, you see Father Tomas and the soldiers who were there, who are still kneeling and still praying. Counter Matthias is, like, gone up to Father Tomas, and they're talking amongst each other. And the Counter is like, okay, God has given us a sign. This bush was burning. This must be the spot to dig. Let's get to it. And so we've got soldiers who are streaming into the castle to get the shovels and the pickaxes and everything that are there. We've got other soldiers who are heading back to town to grab the shovels and pickaxes that are there. And they are all converging onto this burning bush site. And they are beginning to excavate. Now, the full company of soldiers is like 600 people. And they are all digging in this area, and, like, they're starting around the bush, but then everyone who can grab a shovel and a pickaxe or just haul some dirt is, like, digging wherever they possibly can nearby, and they are beginning to excavate, like, a very very wide area around this burning bush.
At least there might be a moat someday.
I think we just let him go. Let him dig. If we're lucky, they'll find like some like pot that got stuck under there, and they'll think that that's a sign too.
Well, see, we have to let them dig. This is a holy, they have to dig these bones up. We can't stop their holy work.
It's true. Can't get in the way of that.
It's true.
Let them do God's work.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go over where they can't see me and pray for them.
It's true. I'll have to join you in your prayers.
Yes,
Right.
let's go pray
Very
together.
important to me.
Yeah, you two, you get your prey and then like maybe a little kvetch on. So digging team, you've heard people like a lot of hubbub, people running in, people running out, a lot of like very loud, very exuberant conversations while Molianora is like busy digging and excavating and slowly bringing like a femur out, a couple of rib bones out at a time, like bit by bit by bit, you are reassembling the body of someone who is presumably now a ghost.
In like all of the kerfuffle outside, I think I would maybe like to swing in and see how the digging process is going at some point, also so we can regroup as a full group.
Yeah, I
Very
agree.
good.
You guys in there?
Depends. Who's out there?
A ghost.
The burning bush.
Right, give me a second, and you hear something heavy just move out of the way.
Ghost
Come
in the
on,
burning
get in
bush
here
would be
quick.
a great band name. And
The ghost of Mary.
Holy Ghost in the burning bush.
yeah.
It's mine now. You can't. Anyway, goes back and slides some just dirt and something that's heavy in the room in front of it. All right, we've got Eleonora pulling up some at a time, and we're working to expand the hole she's made. But
So do we see like a giant mole just coming in and out of the ground?
It just pops up with like a clavicle or something.
So it's like a regular sized mole, but the face is a little funny, and like the hair color is Eleonora's hair color rather than a regular mole's hair color.
You guys managed to get a lot of work done. Wow.
You know there's a big mole coming up and out of the ground?
Regardless of how they did it, they got it done, and I'm gonna grab a shovel and get to helping through the rest as much as I can.
So you get a shovel in, you lever it out, and then the ground under your feet collapses because you've dug into one of the mole tunnels. There are a lot of these tunnels sort of crisscrossing underneath the excavated area because Molianora has been very busy.
You know, I never was one for physical labor, and I'm like dusting off my trousers. That's why I became a doctor.
oh, it's fine. Everyone's done it, and I think at least on Saul's pants, you see the exact same level of like dirt caked on. She's very industrious.
Can Layla like try to reassemble the skeleton?
You absolutely can try to reassemble the skeleton, but you don't know how many of the bones there are. You don't know how many bones there are in the body. And also, it is going to be very hard to hide that you have a human skeleton in here if you start to lay out all of the pieces.
Okay. Then I will not do that.
So you're just going to sort of sit tight until Molianara gets all of the bones out that they can find.
Yeah, I don't know how to dig, so.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So we get another sort of 3-4 hours pass. We're like early afternoon. Early afternoon now, and Eleonora, there might still be bones left in there, but you've dug a lot throughout this area. You've got certainly all the big ones. Certainly all of the big ones.
Okay.
You could, if you spent more time, you might find more bones, but you also might be done. You're not super sure. So you have a big pile of bones. You have a lot of soldiers outside who are very excitedly digging for bones. What do you want to do with all the bones?
Well, now we have to get them out somehow.
Yeah.
On fire.
Just, if we start stuffing them under our shirts. I'm assuming, like most castles, there's probably only one way into and out of here.
Yep.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We gather the bones up in like a cloth or something. One of us lays on a stretcher, and you carry the stretcher out of the castle.
So if you're gonna get a stretcher, you're gonna have to like make one.
Okay.
They don't have like stretchers just like lying around.
Can we just, I don't know, can we bop out and find like a potato sack or something in town?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can make it look a little bit more full, stuff like
Might not even
some
have
of our
to
jackets in it. Yeah,
go to town.
Put-
We could
just
probably
put
find
dirt
in
in
the
it.
kitchen.
that's true. Then we gotta carry dirt.
You got a problem with dirt?
A little bit,
Considering-
yeah.
I consider
And
it.
Dort.
I've been working with Dort all day. Dort is my friend at this point. Me and Dort have an understanding, though I think this might be clay.
Oh, congratulations, your newfound relationship with dirt. I personally have moved past that in my life. Let's
So-
get these bones out of here.
Like
Well,
most
as just pointed out, you could probably get some potato sacks in the kitchen of the castle rather than going all the way back to town. One of two of you or all of you want to go and see if you can find a potato sack.
mean,
So
I'll go look
I'll
for a potato
definitely
sack.
go because I know where the kitchen is. So
perfect. All right. Two of you head to the kitchen. There are say there are like four of the soldiers who are here, and they are working on food, using the like much larger space, and they are preparing. It looks like they are preparing like the evening meal here, as opposed to back in like the town. They've got like porridge going. They've got some vegetables. Like one was busy like cutting up a whole crap ton of potatoes. There are potato sacks available, but they're also like, what are you doing here?
Well, we came because we heard about the burning bush, but are they just prepping, or is anything actually cooking yet?
It's early afternoon, so it is. I think it's all prep at this point.
Okay. Yeah, we came because of the burning bush. We stayed because we wanted to see if there was anyone we could talk to around here. We were working on translating these documents earlier, and there was one guy that was really helpful, but I didn't actually get his name. I know everybody rushed here, so I was hoping to find him, but guess we took the wrong turn.
Everyone's busy digging right now. We've
Yeah.
found a lot of like potential artifacts. We've not found any of the remains yet, but like we're in some spaces we're like 2 feet down already. We're making headway. We're gonna find these bones. We're gonna baptize these fuckers.
Yes,
We're
my
gonna save these
family.
ghost souls.
My family and I, we've already prayed for your success in finding what you need here. So we wish you the best. Hopefully, we'll be able to reconvene with the gentleman we spoke to a little bit later today.
Absolutely. Now, don't mind me, but we had a lot of soldiers who are going to be really hungry in a couple of hours, and so we need to get back to prepping.
Oh,
So can I?
Don't mind me asking. Carrying around all these papers separately like this is a bit of a pain in the ass. Would you happen to be willing to sell me that burlap sack there that's holding those potatoes? I'll give you a couple yules for it.
It's not really mine to sell. I think you can just take it. Like everyone knows you've been pretty helpful. Sure, have a potato sack.
Yeah, thank you.
And please get out of my kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll skedaddle on after grabbing that.
Soldier gets back to chopping potatoes.
Yeah, the sack should be more than enough to do what we need it for, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. You got your sack, you get it back, you load up the bones into the sack. Sack does tend to click, clack, jingle, jangle.
Do we actually have some of the parchment, like the papers with us?
All the papers are back in town.
We left them all behind. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's getting this out. Well, Alexis, using his master criminal mind, invoking my ace here, is going to come up with a plan to get us out, and that basically if anybody were to stop and ask us questions on this, we'd have a very convenient, like, quick excuse of like, oh, this is just some wood we gathered up, and one of the soldiers was nice enough to give us a burlap sack to carry it in.
All right.
So on and so forth. Since everybody's digging holes, we wanted to make sure there's a nice roaring fire back at the house at the end of the night.
Fair enough. Okay. Heard. Okay. Ace invoked. Plan created. You disguise. You got your sack. You conceal the bones as necessary. You haul your way out. You are in fact stopped and questioned, but due to your extensive criminal foresight, you're able to get out and back to town with no one the wiser. You do see that, like, the digging, again, it's not the super deep yet, but it's covering a lot of area. And if they dig for more than a day, they'll probably get down to the appropriate depth where they might find actual remains.
Yeah. So we need to do this tonight then.
We can take the boat across the river.
How long does it normally... Well, two questions. What time of day is it currently?
So it's mid-afternoon at this point.
And then what time would it be after us fording the river?
So if you were to take the boat, you need to get a second boat. There are a bunch of you. And take a look at my map. I don't think it's particularly far. Smile hexes. Coming in. It'd probably take you like half an hour.
Okay. That's probably the best idea then, because then the old man, I forget his name every time.
Ivars
would probably at least be able to help us, like, cremate the bones properly. He may not know the ritual through and through, but...
So when you talked to Ivars about, like, what this ritual might be, you did get the sense that, like, he didn't really know anything past, like, cremation being, like, the intended method of like formal burial. He didn't.
I mean,
know.
So then, do we even have to go across the river at this point?
So, one of the downsides of doing it in Saltspills, like the town, is that it's going to be very hard to, like, disguise what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess if everybody's, I think that's the best play then, is going across the river just for the safety of it, even though it'll take more time. It leaves us in a precarious spot though, because we're basically doing this and hoping, like, hey, they don't get lucky and find bones before we get everything set up. So we're leaving us with no information on the other side.
Yeah, it's a balance of when we prioritize more here.
they are digging through the same soil that you are digging through. And so, like, while they can be a little bit more efficient with their digging because they have more people and they have a much wider space to work in, like, it is still going to take them, like, 16, 20 more hours of digging in order to get down to the depth that they would need to start finding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pretty confident that you have you have that chunk of time before there's even a chance that they're going to find any bones.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, finding a lot of them.
That's true as well. Okay, I guess we're heading across the river then.
All right, so we've got 2 boats because there are more of you than will fit in the small fishing boats. Fortunately, like, there are still the boats there. It's like the boats are there in the careenage. Who's going in which boat, and which boat has the bag of bones?
That's a good question.
I'm fine
So-
to carry the bones.
I'll help row that bag of bones.
Okay.
All right.
So we've got Eleonora and we've got Saul in one boat with the bones. And then do we have the other 3 of you in the other boats?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Fabulous. Okay. We'll do the less interesting roll first. I need one of the 3 of you, Alexis, Layla, or Asher, to roll and see how your rowing works.
So that's a 17.
17. Great. You make it across the water. No problem. And now for the exciting one, I need either Eleonora or Saul to give me that roll. Looks like Saul did the roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I added a d6, right?
Yeah, D20 plus D6.
Okay, good.
Looking to get a 15 or better.
16.
Nice.
Fear.
Fear. You make it across the water. Safe and sound. You don't tip over into the water at all. You're all good. Cool.
11 plus 5.
Well done. Well done. That could have been really fun. Alas. Cool. You make it. You are across the water in Kerholm with the boats. It is early evening. Dusk is soon approaching.
So, what is the plan of action from here?
Plan was to burn it. That was the best approximation of the way to actually give this body peace.
Do we have any particular way we want to burn it?
I'd use fire.
Oh, well.
What
I thought water was going to work, but you know.
What was that, Janie?
with what we did with the research, was there anything about how they buried their bodies?
So that information would not be in the documents that you have, because those documents are not anthropologic with regard to the indigenous Livonian people. Like, that's really just sort of myopically focused on the church and church proceedings.
Sorry, the body or the bones, whatever, were the souls of these people that were not Catholic. Are they just not Catholic, or do we know the religion that they were?
So, from my research, there is not a particular word to describe this religion that was followed. This is one of many pre-Christian religions that existed by the indigenous people in this area before the Germans came and colonized.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So you could be like paganism or like.
I just won't suggest that we do the mourner's cottage if they're not a Jew. So
yeah, I think yeah, these people are definitely not Jewish. Definitely not Jewish. This is not pre-Judaism, but pre-Judaism in the region.
Yeah. In that case, I don't know what the procedure that they would want would be.
Well, Ivar's is sitting on his stool outside of his house, like talking to some kids and telling some really great fishing stories. And he is somewhat surprised to see you.
And like seeing Ivar kind of, I'm gonna put my hand on Saul's back. It's like, you should go talk one old man to another.
Ah, I didn't expect to see you back so soon. Did you find what you were looking for, or have you realized it's best to leave the soldiers to their fate?
We need help.
Children go inside or long walk, short pier, etc. Yes.
We need assistance. Looks around. Burning a body.
Ivar is like, that was not what he was expecting you to say. Well, look, you all are very nice people, but that is, who did you kill?
No one. It's been dead for a while. Can we have a never mind. We don't need you to help us do it. Just if you have any more specific memory of how it should be done. Easy,
Okay.
easy.
I see. Okay. He like grunts as he like stands up off of his chair and like stretches and like stands up, and you realize you've never actually seen him like stand straight up. He's always been like quite hunched over, and he's like 6.5 feet tall. Okay. Fine. I will help. There is a place for outdoor bonfire. Oh, this rain is not going to help. Come. And he, like, sort of, old man walks behind the houses, and there's sort of a clearing with a space in the middle, clearly that has been used for many a like festival or like community bonfire. It's like a bunch of like stones in the ground demarcating like fire circle, and the ground has been cleared, and there are like, well, currently very wet wood benches.
I just realized how evil you are.
I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest.
You made it rain on the day we need to burn something.
It's true, I did, didn't I? Well, yeah. So,
I do want to.
Go ahead, please.
I do have an ace where I can maybe build something to help us with that.
Okay.
Like a oh my gosh, I can't think. So we need to probably either cover the area or something that burns that is okay if it's wet if it burns.
So, like
sap.
so the wood is all going to be stored in a place where it's not going to get wet, because like that's how you store wood if you need wood fires to do anything. The issue is that like the space where it's like, so having some sort of covering over the fire space while it's being worked on would be very good. Or if you could have some sort of like technical innovation in the ways in which the fire is like being fed. You know, maybe you come up with the innovation of tripoding or like some particular formation of the wood. I think I'm very fine using your ace, or you using your ace here to like help engineer a solution.
Bushcraft.
Yeah, kind of like some kind of flat, like tripoding or something,
Yeah.
where the flames are kind of fed into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you like so Ivar's directs you to where the wood is. It asks you to haul
Yeah.
it over, and as you're hauling the wood, you're studying the shapes of the logs and seeing how they might fit together. And as Ivar sort of bends down to like sort of lean up at the sky and spit at the ground and like grabs the first piece of wood, you are like, actually, I got this, and you arrange the logs in a particular geometric configuration to allow it to get heat and warmth and oxygen without having a lot of like exposure to the wet to the rain.
And I'm going to say, none of you ever tell Shaw you saw me work.
I'm right
While
here.
Shaw is-
All right. So even with this innovation, it's still going to take a little bit over an hour to get this fire to like be a fire, let alone hot and big enough for you to like burn these bones. So night falls. You hear from across the river the wail that you've come to expect. But what you don't expect is that the wail sounds second time. Oh dear, we've lost one of our players.
Oh no.
Is that because Layla did work?
Turk, no.
Yes.
The second whale took Turk with him.
Really?
Look, I'm sorry
Welcome
that
back.
Layla did actual work. Please forgive me for that. Don't go away.
And
again.
after that second wail, there is a third one. Ivar's kind of nervous about this. He's like, I don't like that very much. But fire is here. It is big enough. Give me the bones.
Yeah, I'll hand
Hen's bones.
Takes the bones. He mutters something in presumably like Livonian, and begins to like sort of drop the bones or toss the bones onto the fire until he has tossed all of the bones. And there is the fire like crackles and it pops louder than a fire should crackle or pop, and the flames get really big and then they get really small and they almost vanish, and the bones begin to blacken and char in a way that bones don't normally do unless the fire is much, much, much hotter. And then the bones crumble to dust. And for a moment, you see one of the ghosts sort of flash above the fire and then dissipate like, the wind just blew them into dust. And there is one last great howl from across the water. And then nothing. The fire dies down, returns to a smaller fire than you might expect, but quiet and still.
So, is Were the ghosts viewable from the
No.
the island? Okay.
No.
I wasn't sure if we ever checked that before at the nights, if we could see them, but
That had come up in conversation before. Like, and the ghosts, the river is easy to cross, but it is too far at dark to be able to see across the opposite bank.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll wait till morning to find out if it worked.
Whatever that was, they're gonna think it was the third miracle.
I mean, do you know what? We have a person who the Holy Spirit has worked through with us. We have guided the Father there. I say we've helped more than we could, and they should be grateful.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's dinner.
So Ivar's is like, yeah, you've come. You will sleep at my house tonight. Don't mind my nieces and nephews. They just sometimes they get very scared and they crawl into your bed and like need a little hug. If it happens to you, I'm so sorry. They usually don't pee the bed.
Good to know.
But there's
So-
a
Yeah, it's okay. We have little sisters. We understand.
yes. So there's a lovely fish chowder that's been cooking for a long time. By
Are you better cooked than the soldiers?
what?
Do you cook better than the soldiers?
Obviously.
Okay, great. Because they're terrible.
Oh yeah, of course. They are soldiers. Why would no? We are people
You know
who
what?
actually make food and then eat the food that we make. We don't
Really
just
good
take
food.
food other people made. This chowder is fantastic. It's like a goat milk based chowder. It's got like chunks of potato and carrot and cod in there. Especially since you've been eating nothing but like shitty gruel for days. This is blows your gustative senses.
It's a well-earned meal, is what
Indeed.
it is.
Indeed. And he tells like stories like the whole night. Most of them, like you could tell, they're very not true, but they are very funny stories, and they are told extraordinarily well. And like when the kids are tired and they go off to bed, he tells more stories, and some of them are like clearly like a lot darker in tone. And some of them, many of them have a lot more like raunchy, body, sexy stuff in them. It is a magical evening, until eventually his daughter is just like his like his actual niece, who was the woman of the house. Is like, okay, you're old, into bed. You will complain and swear all day if you do not go to bed now. And like, he's like, I am so healthy and young. And she's like, okay, okay. Gets him into bed. Thanks you all for like hearing him out. You know, he always does love like a new audience. Then she puts you all to bed. So wake up in the morning. It is the 7th of March, Thursday. The rain has stopped. Still cloudy. Ivar's is fast asleep, and his niece tells you that it's pretty normal after a night like last night. Like, she discovered that he got into the cider, and he's not really supposed to do that anymore. And so, like, just, you know, she hands you some, she hands you some dried fish for the road. And, like, gets you packed up and herds you off to your boats.
Do we have the documents?
They are still on the other side of the river.
Don't worry, we'll make sure they get back to the priest if we want
Oh,
Yeah.
right, to the priest.
Or we
Yeah.
could take them, yeah. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have much value.
Yeah, what would
Going
you use
forward.
them for? Other than having angry Livonian Order people looking for us. Precisely.
They're documents. But I could read them and study them.
And you'd learn what shoe a priest chose to put on first every day of the week. Or maybe something useful, but either way, you'd have to do so on the run from the Livonian Order, who wants their stuff back. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're quite interested in their things.
Yes, they are. They really are.
You think they wouldn't mind somebody taking something from them that's a cultural artifact of theirs and keeping it?
I mean, these are the
You'd
same
think.
men who tried to fight Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, I won't steal this artifact from them this time, but I'm going to get some
next
stuff
time.
and go overseas and keep it in a big museum. Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, when we come back here, and we never plan on coming back again after the war, you feel free to steal what you want.
All right. So, time check. It is 10 after 8 Pacific time. That said, we're like almost done here, I think. And so, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take another like half an hour and get you back across the river, and then we'll wrap things up. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. So,
My green card. Here's passport.
great. Very good. So you head back across the water. I'm not going to make you roll for it because nothing interesting happens if you fail now. You get back. The house where the soldiers have been is empty.
Does the town also still look like boarded up?
So the town is still boarded up, but you're seeing more people out and about at this hour of the day. And there's a family of like 6 who are like looking at the outside of the big house that the soldiers have been camping out in. And you get a sense that this is in fact their house that they have been kicked out from these past like month and a half.
Yeah, I would go up to him and be like, excuse me, would you happen to know where Captain Matthias is?
All the soldiers, they went up to the castle yesterday and they haven't come back yet.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know. I was staying in my cousin's house. I'm not going to go up to the castle. Are you kidding?
Fair enough. Well, thank you for your help. And
yeah.
Well, I'll come back to the group and be like, well, that's not a bad sign. So if they're coming back to their house, maybe things have been fixed.
Let's hope.
Do we go up to the castle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you head up to the castle. There are a lot of dead people up at the castle. You can, as you get close, you can see there's a many soldiers who are like hauling the bodies of their fellows. Many of them are like have their own pickaxes and shovels, and they are heading to like a small graveyard that's attached sort of to the exterior of the castle, and there are a lot of fresh graves that are being dug. There's a couple of the soldiers who recognize you, and they give sort of a short wave before turning back to what they're doing.
So the 2 people Alexis would be keeping his eye out for is Captain Matthias or Father Tomas.
Yeah. You do not see either of them on sort of the outskirts of the castle.
And not seeing them, I'll probably walk up to one of the Livonian Order guys and be like, excuse me, have you seen Father Tomas or Captain Tomas?
His, like, his face takes on him like a tragic look. Father Tomas fell in battle last night. The Comptor is alive but wounded. He is recovering inside the castle in his room. His second, Annika, has been standing watch over him. If you need anything, I would talk to her.
Okay. Thank you. And guess usher to her then. At this
So
point.
you know roughly where to go. You've been in this castle enough. So the Comptor has a private room. He's the only guy in the organization who gets a private room, and Annika, his second, who you've met previously, is standing watch outside the door. She sees you as you approach and says, well, thanks to you and the information that you've provided, we managed to drive the ghosts off. It was
what ended up happening?
Well, after the burning bush, the sign from God, Father Tomas and the Comptor Matthias, we were all busy digging, but the two of them got together and thought, this is a sign that the tide's turned. God is with us at long last. And so we stayed in the castle and we defended the grounds where we had been digging, and Father Tomas blessed us and blessed our weapons, and stood in the thick of things where the fighting was the worst, and we fought the ghosts, and we fought that dreadful mounted their leader, and many of us died, but we managed to survive. And then at some point, the ghosts just stopped what they were doing, and then they just withered away and vanished. And we knew that God, of the power of Christ and our faith, we had managed to overcome them, this trial, and drive them out.
Well, maybe it was a test of faith from him.
Indeed. While we cowered in the village, we were not worthy of his aid, and now that we took a stand and we fought, well, God helps those who help themselves.
Mm-hmm. So how is the captain doing?
He's not. We'll know more when we have. We've sent for a better trained physician. He was badly injured in the fighting. He tried to save the father and was unsuccessful. But in that moment, the leader managed to pierce his to strike him. And
I'm sorry about that. Well, hopefully that is the end of everything.
Indeed, and I think the Comptor would agree with me in saying that your help and your guidance and your aid in getting Father Tomas to us, and your help has been invaluable to us in our fight. And so if there is something that we can do for you in the future, please let us know.
Well, we came here initially to prepare for future events that we think are going to unfold in Riga. It seems war is prepped to break out. And
she's like, oh, right, that whole thing that I have not been thinking about for over a month. Right,
yeah,
right. Absolutely. Well,
we
certainly have the space now. If worst comes to worst, the Livonian Order will shield you and your family.
Thank you. And he'll like extend a hand out for like a handshake for that.
Yeah, Annika will give you a very firm handshake. This lady is very strong.
Well, we will leave you all to collect yourselves and get on with what you're doing here. I truly wish you the best of luck in it.
Thank you. God be with you, and safe travels back to your home.
And God be with you. And he'll take his leave at that. Well, as he comes back to the group, well, we've secured at least passage to the castle and safety here. Hope we don't need it, but
I think we probably will.
Chances are.
Is it possible for me to have gone off to do something during that conversation as well?
What did you want to have done?
I want to go back to that house that we stayed in where I was getting the scent. And now that it's daytime, I would like to knock on their door and just see who comes to the door.
Sure. So you knock on the door. There is like a house husband who's there in an apron. It's like, can I help you?
I think Asher is putting on like all of like the nice Jewish boy training that he underwent.
Yeah.
Now is the time. Hi, my name is Asher. I'm a physician, actually, and after what had happened here last night, I've just kind of been going around to make sure that everyone's okay, to see if anyone is in need of any herbs or anything like that.
Oh, well, that's very kind. That's very thoughtful of you. But no, we're doing fine. Everyone's fit as a fiddle here.
Does he seem like he's being truthful? I don't know why
He does. He's like, he does seem touched by your thoughtfulness, but he's also he seems very genuine in that like everyone's fine. And like it would be very strange for someone to like not accept help from someone who is presenting themselves as a physician.
Yeah.
If there was actually something wrong.
Okay.
I
feel like a service dog, like I know when they don't. That must be really stressful for the service dogs. I feel so bad for all of them in this moment. Well, if anything does go awry, I'll be in town with my family, so please feel free to seek me out.
Oh, absolutely. We'll do. Thank you so much for your offer. We'll be sure to look you up. Yeah.
Okay. And I will kind of like head off like I'm going to the next door, except I'm not. I'm just gonna go back to
peace out. Cool. Perfect. All right. So the five of you sort of reunite, share notes. What's next?
It's still early in the day, right?
Yeah, it's not even lunchtime.
Yeah.
Really?
I would say...
Nope. I mean, maybe if you're like one of those like you have 3 or 4 lunchtimes, but it's not noon yet, certainly.
Well,
lunchtime can be when you're hungry.
Yeah. It's lunchtime all the time. But what do you guys want to do? Do we want to just head back to the farm and let everybody know what's going on?
I don't see what else there is to do.
I think that's a really good idea.
What about Jan?
Jan's just been chilling in the basement of the big house with all the soldiers gone. He's like sort of poked his head out, being like,
Okay, good.
Can we break out?
Can we please take him back home?
Yeah, going.
there are no guards there to stop you.
Okay,
This is
good.
the case.
Jan-
Jan,
Want to head back? Come on.
This is when we learn it was
so
never locked.
long. Don't
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
come
no
on.
talk to me in days. It's been the worst. It's been the worst. I've had nothing to eat but gruel.
No one said anything to eat
Oh.
but gruel.
My sensitive constitution can't handle
Your
it.
sensitive constitution needs to walk all the way back to the farm.
Do we need to
One of these days, we're gonna have to take you across the river to have that goat stew that we had last night. It was so good.
I just want to go home.
I feel the back of his forehead with the back of my hand.
He is a little clammy. You're not sure if that's just because he's been locked in a basement for like 4 days or like he's sick.
Okay.
We should ask those soldiers for like a wagon, a cart or something, so that he doesn't have.
Frankly, I don't think we can really ask them for much of anything right now. We can either wait or we can take it.
Also, did we not come with a cart? I thought we did.
It's not big enough to carry
No,
somebody.
you just walked here because that cart that you did, the cart that you did use to go to Riga was communally owned by like
Yeah, that's
all
probably
of the,
okay.
the farming houses.
It's been a while, so
Yeah, no, it's just fine.
Would they know if we took one?
Yes,
Yes,
Darn it.
carts and horses are very special.
What?
very, very
What-
important for farmers.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to figure out how to build those.
It's like if you like went into someone's house and like borrowed their desktop computer,
Mm-hmm.
like that's something they're gonna notice.
Well,
All right.
it'll be good for you to walk a bit, Jan. Stretch those legs. You've been sitting down for too long.
Good for your circulation.
They will like whine, grumble, and complain as Jan is wont to do. But
I totally agree.
unless there's anything else y'all would like to do in Sol Spills, I think you can get back to Uldroka and your family by nightfall, or thereabouts.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do.
Perfect. Then we will wrap things up there. Thank you all very much. This has been lovely. I am excited for what's coming next.
For vacation?
No.
What?
No.
A nice
No.
retreat,
Turk sitting
There's
in
no
the
rest for the wicked. There's no
How
rest
many,
for the
how many
wicked.
days were we there?
Excellent question.
I want to say it's been like 5 or 6, right?
So let's see.
We arrived.
On Sunday the 3rd,
Yeah.
and you are leaving on the 7th.
4 days, all right.
As far as exorcisms go, I feel like that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good turnaround time.
They should have paid us.
Look, we're getting paid in future protection, all right? That's our payment.
I'm getting paid in karma right now.
In sturdy
but
castle
doesn't-
walls when everybody goes to war. That's what our
And, yeah,
payment.
we don't have to sell our services to defending an estate.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah.
They could have paid us too.
You're correct. You want to go back
Look.
and ask them for money?
I think if
That's-
everybody got out alive, I would have requested payment. But
It's too far to walk. To
unfortunately, the burning bush killed some people.
that was those were sacrifices.
And that's how I'm gonna spin it. It's like, look, God needed to know you're willing to sacrifice life and limb for him to prove your
They're
faith.
the ones who decided to stay and try to fight ghosts.
Yes. Look, I don't take responsibility. I just understand I enabled their bad behavior.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, this has been lovely. I think let's wind things down and let those of you in our audience get on with your evenings, mornings, potentially on time zones. So we're gonna do a final round of reintroductions and where you can find us, what we might have upcoming, and then we'll sign off. Let's start again in that top left corner.
All right, I am TJ. I played Alexis. Both of us went by he, him pronouns. Where you can find me, 2 weeks here. Outside of that, nowhere else outside of Twitter. Or if you want to follow me for some risque likes. Moving to heck.
Yeah. Yep. Hey everybody, it's me, it's Sir Heckelot. And as per usual, tonight I played Eleonora. The two of us use she, they pronouns. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Heckelot, including Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I'm all over the place. Just find me. It's the best place to figure out where I'm going to be in the TTRPG space next, because I tend to wander a whole lot. At least for this week, you won't find me until Friday, right back here for Cold Hands, Warm Hearts, a Rhyme of the Frost Maiden campaign. But I have a very busy week next week coming up. You'll find me here on Monday for Oathsworn. On Wednesday, you can find me on Exquisite Corpse Presents, GMing an All Aces one-shot. We're going to be playing a indie system called Lost But Not Forgotten, and I am so excited for it. It is going to be so cool. It's gonna be great. Then on Friday the 16th, I'll be right back here hosting our game show that we're doing for Pride Month. So it's gonna be all like Pride themed Jeopardy categories. It's gonna be very cool. I'm very excited for it. But yeah, that is it for me for now. So moving on over to Turk, I think.
Yeah, Turk, go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to go next. Appreciate it.
I'm such a gracious facilitator.
You are. And I am Turk, or Turk Accented, if you're looking for an exorcist online. If you do find it online, let me know. I, of course, was playing Shawl, both of us using he, him pronouns. Hey, Lost Caravan, thank you for the raid. You're just in time to see us all sign off. And if you want to see more of me, you can catch me this Thursday closing out the award-nominated Frozen Rain. If you're not familiar, Frozen Rain has been nominated by the Crit Awards. So, if you feel like dropping us a vote, you can go over and check out that link. I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. You can also go and support Lost Caravan if you're so inclined. But yeah, it's a Lancer campaign based off of Sleeping Above a Stolen Crown by Laurie O'Connell. It's been really great. Clearly some other people thought so too, which nice. Beyond that, next Monday on the 12th, as Heck mentioned, I will be running Oathsworn with a bunch of really cool people. It's the high fantasy, Greek mythology, blend that together and make it all emotional and wonderful. And it's really fun. Then by his Shadowed Peace on the 14th, which is a Wrath and Glory mystery investigation, but still very much 40k, where I play God's Favorite Marine. And then on the 15th will be Delta Green, which is also, we're playing Impossible Landscapes. There's like a mystery Cthulhu, where I also play God's Favorite Marine. So it kind of, it works. And then we'll be right back here on the 20th for more of this, as I'm sure nothing has gone wrong and everything will be fine, and we'll just RP and be lovely for the rest of our days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I have talked for far too long, but hey, make sure you keep locked in here because we're doing a bunch of awesome stuff for Pride Month. Just happy Pride in general, and see y'all next time. Pass it over to Jeannie.
See, you're not letting me
gaslight me? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was supposed to go before you, and then I could say I went already. I think. I don't know how that works. My brain isn't here.
We'll fix it next time with the overlay order, just to make sure that you can continue to have this bit, because I know it's important to you.
What was I talking about? I don't remember.
You? Yeah.
You.
Oh.
Who are you? Where can people find you?
I hate talking about myself, but they're going to make me do it because they're just horrible and terrible, and want me to tell you that I'm Janie. I played Layla, she, they pronouns, and I think I have a game on Singularity this week and another Friday, Cold Hands. I've got games coming. Next week is my slow week, so I don't have much that I can think of. Anyway, I'm supposed to move it on to somebody next, aren't I?
That's me, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. I don't know why I've been on this Tuesday thing, but most of my stuff is on Tuesdays right now. Next Tuesday, I will be here in a Pride one-shot as a player, And then on the 30th of the month, I will be here running a Pride one-shot as the GM. It'll be the first thing I've GM'd in a little bit. I took a little bit of a break. And next month on TTRPG, where I am the story director, we have Fae Fair at the end of the month, which is a trans lifeline fundraiser. So please check that out. There's going to be fun giveaways, including something that I crocheted, and I charge money for that now, so it's really special. That's it.
Fantastic. And hi, I am Danielle Osterman, the facilitator and setting creator for Gelgelim. I also write indie RPG, tabletop RPGs and supplements that you can find on my itch.io page, which also essentially doubles as the website for the stream. So if you those Lost Paradigm folks, if you wanted to catch up on all the things that we've been doing, you can go to the link that is in the chat somewhere. Great, Nightbot. Thank you. No, not Nightbot, actually. Nightbot should do a thing, though. Perfect. Thanks so much. That Nightbot. And it's got session recaps, a list of NPCs, and also a list of all of the rules and house rules that we are using in the setting. And you can use that page to go and find some of the other stuff that I've written and pay me money, which is a thing that I always love when people do. You will see me in 2 weeks here as we see whatever happens next. And if you keep your eyes peeled on my itch.io page, sometime in July, I will be releasing a Bullet Magazine Pinups edition, which is going to be a wonderful set of supplements and classes and hacks, all based around Ratha Bayakter's fantastic game, Bullet. So I highly recommend that you keep your eyes peeled and check it out. I've got some really phenomenal people writing some very cool stuff. Adira Slattery, Wrath, Legendary Vermin, a whole bunch of very cool folks. So that's it, and we will see you all in 2 weeks. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.